So we're quite often asked about how to determine whether or not we have a leak within our swimming pool or spa. It's actually very, very simple to figure that out. And we don't want to jump to conclusions right away. We first need to determine that we do have a leak. And the way you do that is with a number 2 pencil. It's the only tool you need to determine whether or not your pool and spa is leaking. It takes 2 days. What we do is the first day, working under normal conditions, no water features on, nothing, you just go ahead and you mark the tile line right where the water's at. You come back the same time the next day and see whether or not you've lost 1/4 of an inch of water. If you've lost 1/4 of an inch, you probably have a leak. You need to go into the second day of testing though. This is with all the pool equipment off. Turn all your breakers off, mark it again, come back 24 hours later, and what you're going to see is whether or not you've lost another 1/4 of an inch. If you determine that you do have a leak, keep following along because we're going to show you the most common areas to look for leaks in pools and spas. So during the first day we were running just normal, our system was running normally with our mark, and we're monitoring it over 24 hours to see if it dropped. During the second day though, we want to turn everything off. We want to kill the power at the power box. We want to open the system up, either whether that's at the top of the air relief valve or the top of the pump, to break any type of siphons. Now with the equipment off for the next 24 hours, we're going to remark that water and see if it's gone down a 1/4 inch more, which will predetermine that our leak is below the water level. Now remember to keep an eye on your pool and equipment. Obviously if anything is leaking over here, your pumps, your filters, or check your backwash valves, because if they're leaking, that's where your leak's at. It's not a leak that's below ground that you really need to be concerned. So always first address the leaks that you've got that are visual, that you can see at your equipment area. So we've now predetermined that over the course of the last 2 days, with the equipment running and the equipment not running, that we were continuing to lose more than 1/4 of an inch worth of water. So the next step is to check the most common places that we see leaks in pools and spas. And the way we do that is we drain the pool or the spa, and we want to look for moisture spots. See if there's a leak when the pool or spa is full. Then when we take the water out of it, the water is going to come back into the empty cavity. So I want you to notice here, this is a penetration, this is a pipe. And if we don't see this moisture dry up, then ultimately there is moisture being generated from around this area, and it's something that we want to pay attention to. So right next to it, this spa jet has dried up perfectly. It's nice and dry to the touch. Everything's in great shape, and that's what we want to see. Now it may be that there was just a little bit of extra moisture in this pipe, and this one, if we watch it over the course of the next 30 minutes, I believe will also start to dry up. So you will happen to notice in the bottom of some pools and spas what's known as a hydrostatic valve. There's a one-way fitting that goes down in these. These are notorious, by the way, for leaking. So when you have your pool or spa drain, it's always nice to replace that hydrostatic valve. What this is it's a pipe that goes down into the ground, allows the moisture, if there was a lot of moisture around the outside of the structural shell, allows the moisture to come back into the pool and spa. Thus the pool or spa won't float out of the ground. We can see here that it's waterproofed fairly well. Looks like it's nice and clean. But since we have it open, we're going to go ahead and replace that hydrostatic valve. So one of the areas that's really come to my attention is the area around the skimmer. Now skimmers are typically a plastic, and they're butted up to the swimming pool plaster and the tile. So what we want to do is we really want to inspect these areas down in around where the plastic meets either the plaster or the tile. Up in here where the grout is, there is a bit of a crack. I can get the dental pick to go in just a little bit, but where it's really evident is where there's been some chemical damage in the bottom of this plaster, and I can get the dental pick to penetrate all the way down in past the plaster towards the shell. And that's an area that you're really going to see water leak quite a bit. So one of the best fixes for this is to probably dig that out, seal it back up with some hydraulic cement, or redo that joint, and then of course stop using tablet chlorine in the skimmer. So basically, in conclusion, what we've done today is we've taken all of the water out of this body of water that we've determined was leaking, and we've checked all of the penetrations to the shell. Most of the time when pools and spas are built, they're under pressure during the construction process. So this is the most common places that you're going to find a leak. And of course, you can jump right to that conclusion and have someone come in and take a look. Or you can follow the simple steps today where we found actually that this skimmer is leaking in this specific shell. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like it if you like it, or leave comments down below, and we'd be happy to get back to you. Again, these are just the most common places that leaks occur in pools and spas.